Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today we're going to be exploring the Allenwood section of Wall Township, New Jersey, along the Manasquan River. And this stone marks a spot where Captain Samuel Allen executed 6 Tories and their chief during the Revolutionary War. So all this property behind here is the Allenwood section of Wall Township, possibly named after his family. So this very spot that we're standing on along Route 70 here is where this execution happened. And we're going to be exploring the Manasquan wildlife area, which is where the property of the family was, to look at some artifacts and some cool stuff. So join me. Okay, a little bit further down Ramshorn Drive is one of the entrances. It's a beautiful piece of property here. There is hunting on this piece of property, so you have to be careful depending on what time of season it is. A little marking on a tree. Little safety zone. Do not shoot towards the safety zone because there's residential houses back here. Some old concrete blocks. A liquor bottle. It's a beautiful day here, early November 2015. Some old chicken wire here. Another cinder block. Some more chicken wire down there in the distance. Right now we're on an old roadway, which is abandoned. This was carved through this terrain here to get down to the Manasquan River. It's a little mountain biking, hiking trail that crosses over here. At the end of the road, there's a big hill that we just went down. It leads you right to the Manasquan River. Absolutely gorgeous area. Right now it looks like it's high tide. Usually this is all mud. I ride my mountain bike across this trail here. Here's the big root system of a tree that has fallen to the top. These trees have fallen right over the Manasquan River. Water is very calm today. Ride right along here. This is where it dips down, so you could have to be careful. Across the way we have the Brick Township side of the wildlife management area. Some sticks that people are using for hiking. And then this path continues down through this marsh area. But with high tide up, definitely not going to be able to take that today. Okay, back at the top of the trail, we're on this ledge here. This is something you could ride your bike on. It's off camber. This part, according to historicaerials.com, if you look at the overhead images, this was a piece of property, and then out closer to the river there was a little island, the house on it, and a pool. So this piece of property at once could have been the descendants of Captain Samuel Allen. Let's continue up this hill here and we'll go look for the piece of property. Okay, looks like we're getting close. We got some remnants of the property, some siding to a house, some more pieces of a metal roof. Looks like I found some remnants of the house, which is further down the hill. This is an actual driveway. A concrete block. I have an old oil drum here. And this was some type of padlocked gate, because there's a pole on this side. And on the other side, through the trees, there's another pole. You can see how old all this stuff is. Look how rusted this lock is. And underneath all this is all concrete here. So this would have been the driveway down to the house, which it's all grown in, but there's a little island out there which the house is perched on. This here is the edge of the driveway, so there's been a brick edge. Found another metal drum, rusted and buried right in the ground, next to some concrete or brick material. Okay, we're a little bit further down. We had to cross a little swampy area. Okay, it looks like we're here at the clearing for what was part of the house. Now, I'm not sure if this was indoors or outdoors, but we have some tile here on the concrete pad. This is some heavier brickwork for what could have been some type of fireplace. This house dates back to the 50s and then suddenly disappeared off historicaerials.com imagery in the 70s. So I'm not sure if there was a hurricane that came through and this area had a storm surge and wiped the house out, or the land was donated to the state to be part of the wildlife management area, and then the house was torn down. But there's lots of artifacts. Look at this big piece of granite. Would have been the top to some decorative item. Picnic bench is obviously newer, so someone put this here at one point. Maybe some of the property owners at the top of the hill use this area as a private retreat. You can see scattered throughout the woods here. We have an old chair that made it down here. Some more concrete block. More concrete wall. All jagged pieces of metal tied in with a piece of metal roofing. Got to be careful walking on these for wildlife and possibly hornets' nests underneath. This is all the pieces of the house that were here. Not sure what that big mass of concrete is over there. Another big piece of metal in this pile here of garbage. This looks like all the remnants of the house. I could actually see roofing shingles there on top of some type of plywood that would be part of the roofing structure. Just goes on and on throughout this piece of property, all the pieces of the house that were here. Some metal, old beer cans. You wonder what else was left behind. That's an old chair there. Some more metal roofing. You know, people pay a lot of money for old tin roofs that are all weathered. It's laying all around throughout the woods here. Unbelievable. It just keeps going on. Looks like there's a little peninsula on the piece of property that goes out that way. So let's explore some more. This peninsula keeps going out further and further. It gets a little bit more muddy as you go. But I'm still finding remnants of the house everywhere. There's nails sticking up here. Just gotta be careful where you step. The water is literally right there. Going up a couple feet here in grade. This is where hunters would go to go duck hunting, but it's getting tighter and tighter, and the ground's getting mushier and mushier as I go. I'm just cutting my way through with my hand. There's all mud here. Don't want to wear your best pair of shoes out trying to explore back here. Not sure what type of insects are jumping on me, but I'm sure there's some. Okay, now we're going up a grade too. So this was, according to the aerial shot, this was all sort of cleared out back then, but since has grown over the last 40 years. Okay, this leads up to the water and then continues out. So this is a good vantage point for someone that is going to do some duck hunting. So now we're just going to walk our way out of here and go back towards where the house is to see if we can find some more artifacts here. Okay, back at the abandoned piece of property, we have, it looks like a exterior wall that has a stucco type finish on it. This was like a rustic ranch cabin, such, buried in the woods. Now what I want to find next is, I remember looking at the photos originally, and in historicaerials.com, I did see what appeared to be some type of swimming pool. So they must have filled it in, but I'm sure we could find some remnants. Just want to get over to this, which appears to be some type of oil tank. This is asphalt here. So the driveway was all the way around this way. This is an old abandoned oil tank here. It's all rusted through. Looks like they pulled it out of the ground and left it. We have some decorative granite material here as well. Some patio chairs. Maybe just left everything behind. The storm ruined the house. If someone moved some of these rocks around and bricks, Just wonder where that swimming pool would have been. And I'm not even sure this is an interior slab here, because this is a different elevation than that piece here. You can see where the weeds have grown through that crack. This looks like some of the plumbing, so this might have been an interior. This could have been where the toilet and shower were, part of the bathroom or the kitchen area. These sticker bush are horrible. That hurt. Got old beer bottles. That old spring inside of it. Here we go. Here's a mound. There's a bee, a couple bees there. So there must be some type of beehive. There's a little hole there. We have a concrete slab right here. This could have been part of the house or exterior. Some metal roofing material inside of that. And this is that marsh area I had to get through to get to this particular area. So this was a little island. They would have had their own residential type trees that they would have planted in bushes. I don't recognize anything. Everything looks natural back here. See some more stuff in the distance here, so let's continue on. This big pine tree has fallen. There's some more brickwork here in a pile. Looks like someone used to climb this at one particular time. And then we have some type of structure here. The way this is made and looks, it just looks a little bit too new. So someone built some type of hunting structure back here after the property was abandoned. Here's some more metal roofing material. Great patina on that. Okay, back on the mainland piece of the property, that'd be up off the river and the higher land. So still continuing to see some different artifacts. There's some concrete here for some type of structure that was in this vicinity. We have here a big, huge, hollowed out tree. This is an old growth tree. Lots of younger growth trees back here, but this is an old growth. There's another one, a couple here, there, straight ahead. Most of the forest land in this area of Monmouth County is young growth trees, because these were all farming areas back in the 1800s and early 1900s. But this particular piece of property looks like it was untouched during that time frame in regards to farming. So we have some old refrigerators that were dumped here. There's two down in this little gully here. I guess someone would have carried them through. This is quite a bit back in the woods here, so it's not ideal for someone trying to dump something, unless they were initially dumped and then carried further back into the woods. Down in this little gully here, we have some running water and a little footbridge that someone built a long time ago. It's a little rotted out, but I have ridden my bike across it at full speed. It's very stable. This here looks like some type of cheater feeder for deer. What they would do is set this up with some food. They'd set up a camera in the tree somewhere. And they would watch to see when the deer come to feed, and they come back at a later time and shoot the deer. This looks like the pole where they would either mount the feeder or mount the camera. You know, these cameras are all camouflaged, so you know, could still be one back here. Just can't find it. Now we're heading up this hill here to go towards some of the farming areas. I'm in search, and I hope I find it. I'm not sure exactly where it is. There's an old silo base for wooden silos. It's like a concrete round base. Definitely be over, hopefully on this side, because this is all young growth trees. So this would have been farm fields at one time. There's a couple of mountain bike trails, foot trails that go zigzag throughout. I'm gonna take this outer one. Anytime you see a sudden change of terrain in New Jersey when you're hiking and you go from pine trees and oak trees to a group of cedar trees, you know this area is young growth trees. This was all cleared and was farming at one point, and the cedar trees grew a lot easier than the rest and took over the area. So when you see a sudden break and then all of a sudden cedar trees as far as you could see, you know that was a farming area at one point. Check out the character in this particular tree. Interesting how it's a tall cedar tree, but then all these other pieces grew out of the side. Looks like antlers on a deer or buck. And up top is your regular branches. Beautiful. Have here a little bat house that someone has made a long time ago and put on this tree. Might still be in use. Got a little birdhouse up here in the tree. Some fluff hanging out of it, so that might be in use. Looks like it needs some repair. Have here another series of birdhouses someone's put up. One here. This one looks like it fell upside down, needs to be fixed. Another one here in the back corner. Not sure what's going on there. Just a little hole in the corner. I'm not sure what it's intended for. Maybe it was purposely made there, or the animal itself made its own hole. Got another one over here. Path I'm walking on now is an old road. It goes all the way up to Ramshorn Drive, and then there was a bridge called Trucker's Bridge that was demolished, but back in the 90s and 80s and 90s, people used to jump off into the Manasquan River. That would then go to the Brick Township side by Ridge Road, Allenwood, Lakewood Road. We're here on an off-camber trail, field up above, Manasquan River down below. As Someone's laid some logs on their sides to make a path. We got an old, looks like a broiler from the bottom of the oven. There's a little marshland down below. It's a difficult trail to ride mountain biking if you're going fast, because it is off camber. You slip, you're down. It's hard to tell with the camera I'm using how steep it is in some areas. Right here it's not too bad. You can see these slippery roots here. You can get yourself in a jam pretty quickly. This is another entrance to this trail off the farm field. A very, very large tree has fallen. Took all the land up with it. So you got this big wall of tree. Little man-made bridge here that you can ride the bike over. Lots of sticker bushes hanging over these trails. This is an old growth tree here. This is a very, very large tree all the way around. Got a little brook running through down to the Manasquan River. Another really old growth tree here, as well as right there. These trees are probably a couple hundred years old. Go down this little hill here. We have another little man-made bridge over a different brook. Lots of mud on the other side. Someone's put concrete blocks here to help. Another little bridge here that goes over this brook. Everything's covered in leaves. It's kind of hard to see where you're stepping or what you're stepping on. Looks like we have another little brook here and a little footbridge goes over. Someone laid plywood, which is very, very slippery. They added these cross pieces here for grip. It's a little hunting camp area. There's a chair, there's a garbage can, a whole bunch of bottles and cans laying around. Looks like a man-made chair out of wood. Lots of excess nails. Someone brought the little outdoor bar here. They laid a piece of wood on its side. It's a shame how much garbage is here. Someone put their bandana up in a tree. Lots of little carvings, FU. Looks like someone's carved a heart into the tree a very long time ago. At a point where it's killing the tree. Right through the bark. It's all rotted out. You can see insect holes in the wood. There's an old plastic type wicker chair here. Back onto another grown in farming field. See a lot of cedar trees, young growth trees. And this V's off to another trail that goes closer to the river again. In a section closer to Ramshorn Drive, closer to the general store, there's an abandoned neighborhood. This neighborhood was built in the late 60s, early 70s. All the groundwork was laid. Water lines, sewage lines, as well as the drainage. But then the neighborhood was just abandoned. No houses were built. So you can see actually on both sides of the street back here, we have some curbing on this side. And this would have been the street here. And then on the other side, we have the same curbing. And then this goes all the way up about a quarter mile. Same thing, curb on both sides. At some points you'll actually see fire hydrants hidden behind the curbs. And then there's mountain bike trails that go where each one of the lots would have been, zigzagging through all the cedar trees that have grown since then. I do have a separate video on this when I was biking for the day and came upon these trails and then noticed the curbing. So you can check that on YouTube. It's abandoned neighborhood, Allenwood, New Jersey. There's a little cocoon of some sort in a tree. Within the area of the abandoned neighborhood, we have some obstacles that were set up for mountain biking. Nothing too crazy there. There's another little obstacle someone set up with some wood purchased at a home improvement store and some old hardwood flooring. Have here the skeletal remains of some type of animal. Looks like a deer. Ironically, right next to it is a shotgun shell. The very end of the neighborhood, you'll find a curb, another curb, and then there's an old abandoned truck here. So you have, this could be a car actually with the bumper braces, but you have front bumper, back bumper. This looks like the firewall with electronics and fuses. This is a round circle here. So this would have been one of the storm grates in the middle of the street. You can see here the curb on this side. And then in the distance, there's another curb. These are wide roads. This was going to be a very nice premium neighborhood. You got a tire for a car in there. And then we have some more parts here. That's that bumper that we mentioned earlier. And then there's some more parts here. This is an exhaust piece. This here. I'm not sure what this is. The muffler to the car. There's probably more pieces scattered throughout. Here's some this is a piece of chrome. It is a piece that went inside the fender. This is the air cleaner. Another exhaust piece here. And you got a rim over to the side. Now we come out to one of the two fields that you'll cross eventually when exploring back here. This is a horseback riding path as well as mountain biking and hiking. It's crazy amount of grasshoppers that are jumping up as I'm walking. They're all over the place. Back in the small field here, we have a little hunting lodge, and then here is one of their cameras to track the deer. Let's wave hi to them. They have it padlocked to the tree here. It's infrared lighting. But there's a bird stuck in this little tent. I have no idea how it got in. I don't know if that's their pet or it accidentally got in so hard somehow. You could hear it going buck wild in there. Don't want it to fly out at me. Yeah, it accidentally got in there at the bottom. Just kind of open it up there so it could fly out. Looks like it went in through the bottom and couldn't figure out how to get back out. Real Tree Extra. So this is a little, it blends in very well, except for the sun is shining on the front shade right now. Therefore, you can see it easily from across the field. So I'll wait for this little bird to fly out so I can zip the thing back up. Looks like we have maybe a deer urine. This thing drips to this area here. The camera can locate it. And they just sit in a little shack there and watch and shoot. Let the bird out and I zip the tent back up, so we'll continue on our trip. Off one of the main trails we have here a stool abandoned. It's white and it spray painted blue and red, so it's a patriotic stool. Have here another birdhouse. I really like the way this one's built. It's a half of a log. It's split, it's cut, and it's got a regular piece of wood in the front and another side of a log on the top. Excellent. Do like that. Right off one of the main trails here we have another, maybe a bat house they made. It's got some dowels wrapped around a wooden loom, and then they wrap wire around that with pine cones. Excellent execution. Blends right in with the scenery here. Only way I noticed it, I just was looking for that ring, the ring in the woods, the concrete base from an old wooden silo. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but looking up for it all day, I saw this little gem here. Excellent, really like that. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any information to share about this particular piece of property, Allenwood, New Jersey, off of Ramshorn Drive, please do. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love it. I'll see you soon. And even though I didn't find what I was looking for, the abandoned silo base, I still had a great time. Found a lot of interesting things. I'm exiting because the sun is setting now. See you soon.